Welcome, everyone. So, we were assigned the Family and Medical Leave Act. The Family and Medical Leave Act, which was passed in 1993 by President Clinton, is meant to allow eligible employees to take an unpaid leave of absence for approved family and medical reasons, and the qualifications do differ a little bit depending on your circumstances. This act is only for a temporary leave, a 12-work-week leave, and it protects the employees so that they have a job to return to, and the job must be their equivalent job or with equivalent pay and benefits. By living in California, we actually get paid for FMLA through the Employment Development Department, which is the same department that pays you for unemployment. And starting this July, this act extends from 6 weeks of paid leave to 8 weeks. And also, California passed the Family Rights Act, which allows unpaid leaves to take care of yourself, family members that are ill, or children who are unable to take care of themselves.
The Family Medical Leave Act is a labor law in which workers must work 1,250 hours in 12 months to qualify for. It was intended to benefit women who would often lose their jobs due to pregnancies or problems within their family. Many mothers risk their health and return to work early in order to maintain their jobs prior to this act. However, the act primarily benefits wealthier families. This is because the Family Medical Leave Act ensures a leave without pay. Many mothers and people without higher education are less likely to utilize this act. Thus, the Family Medical Leave Act primarily benefits married or high-earning women and people.
There are a variety of different perspectives on the Family and Medical Leave Act. However, the most discussed are the views of the Democrats, Republicans, and the American people. Today, there are a multitude of reasons for paid family leave. It enables workers to take time off to address certain life events and medical emergencies. The birth or adoption of a child, paid parental leave, one's own illness, personal medical leave, or the illness of a family member, family care leave, without sacrificing an entire paycheck. Democrats want to establish a new federal family paid leave system that covers up to 12 weeks of paid leave at approximately 2/3 of wages for new parents and family members. As for the Republicans, they want to let new parents advance their Social Security benefits for up to 12 weeks. In exchange, working parents would have to delay collecting Social Security retirement benefits. Last but not least, Americans are divided on whether the government should require employers to provide family and medical leave, or if it should be the employer's choice.
Hi, my name is Austin Barnes, and we're going to talk about the Family and Medical Leave Act and about the policy effectiveness. Now, we're going to talk about some advantages and disadvantages. Now, let's talk about some advantages. The first advantage is your job is protected during leave of absence. Another advantage is employees can take care of their family's emergency health issues without losing the job and benefits. Another advantage is once the employee returns from the leave, they must return to the individual job status or the equivalent job with equivalent pay and benefits. Now let's move to the right side and talk about some disadvantages. The first disadvantage is policy does not cover 40% of the workers in the United States because they work for a business with less than 50 employees. Now for small businesses it's unfair because they probably do have less than 50 employees, and it's unfair to small businesses. Now, another disadvantage is women are faced with the obstacle of the co-workers having resentment for giving them a load of work during the leave or the pregnancy. Now, when women take leave from their pregnancy, they can be treated unfair from their co-workers or poorly. Now, another disadvantage is people living paycheck to paycheck cannot afford to take unpaid leave. And when people take unpaid leave, it's unfair for these people that live paycheck to paycheck because they're struggling and they only can live based off the paychecks. Now, another disadvantage is part-time and temporary workers are not covered because they may not have reached the 1,250 hours required to be covered.
The Pregnancy Discrimination Act of 1978, which prohibited pregnancy-based employment discrimination, was the start to the idea of Family and Medical Leave Act. They wanted a national policy to benefit both men and women, so they decided on a parental leave rather than a maternity leave. But there was 9 years of action to create this act because the government was afraid to pass it because they wanted to reduce their involvement with the economy and corporate regulations. And Republicans and conservative Democrats didn't want this act to pass because it might harm small businesses because of the cost. So President George W. Bush vetoed FMLA because he thought the government should not have the power to decide what employers are offering to their employees. But it was passed within 2 weeks of Clinton's inauguration, and it was the first legislation of his presidency. Alright, here's a list of a few resources we had, and thank you so much for watching.